Here is some background information. My brother, we will call him John, got engaged to his now wife, we will call her Karen. They were only engaged for a few months before she decided she wanted to move the wedding date from a year to 3 months. My mother, dad, and eldest brother all told him to get a prenuptial, but his now wife was appalled that it was even mentioned. Before the wedding, Karen's family and friends started arriving from out-of-state country to enjoy a few family dinners prior to the wedding. Karen's family is always late to every gathering, and they are very high maintenance. As I was talking to Karen and her friend from another country, I could feel the judgment pouring out of them. I mentioned to my brother and his now wife about food options for the wedding. I suggested they have an outdoor BBQ wedding because it's what I did at my wedding and my brother catered it. Karen's friend and family laughed right in my face and said, "Who does a BBQ wedding? That's so tacky and distasteful." I stepped closer and said, "I had a BBQ wedding, and everyone loved it." Her friend then replied, "Oh well, for someone like you, that would be okay." I almost punched her in the face right then and there. I kept my cool and tried to de-escalate the situation, but Karen and her high-maintenance family proceeded to insult me more by saying, "A wedding is special, and you should serve steak, lobster, shrimp, etc." I told her the food really doesn't matter, and the cost of the wedding doesn't change the amount of love the couple have for one another. I walked away after that. Moving forward, the wedding is only a month away, and Karen sends me a message telling me what I can and cannot wear to the wedding. No, I was not part of the wedding party either. I bought a dress at Savers, and she wasn't happy about it. It was a beautiful dress from David's Bridal, just I bought it used because I was only going to wear it that one evening. After my brother and Karen were officially married, I started noticing changes in my brother. Firstly, his wardrobe was altered so much I didn't recognize him. She made him get braces and lose weight as well as change his hairstyle. My brother makes very good money, and before they were married, Karen had a very good job at a hospital. 1 month after they were married, my brother bought a house, and Karen quit her job completely. Now my brother is working 2 jobs and is in so much debt, but Karen refuses to go back to work. When we have family dinners or holiday parties, she won't eat any of the food, but instead will leave to go pick up food she likes and then return afterward. My brother can't even be on the phone with anyone without her in the background of the conversation. She dictates everything he does and keeps him away from family. She makes him late to all family gatherings and makes him leave about an hour or 2 after arriving. When my mother passed away in 2022, she decided it was her place to call family, including myself, and tell us our mother passed away. Not her place. I will never forget the way she said it. "Kylie, are you sitting down? I have to tell you something. Your mother is dead." I asked her if it was a sick joke. She replied, "No, honey, she died." I fell to my knees. My brothers and I were in charge of her memorial services, but I was the only one planning any of it. When I asked my brother over the phone, of course his wife was right there in the background. She said she was really busy and had a lot of stuff going on and didn't have time to plan my mother's memorial service. I was so upset and frustrated because it was already 6 months after she passed. Almost a year later, I finally had enough and I planned, paid, and invited everyone on my own. My brother got mad at me for being upset over it. He then went on bashing me, telling me all I ever did was screw up in life and that our mother hated me for it. I turned around and told him the truth. "Our mother hated your wife. She thought she was a gold digger and she wished you never married the high-maintenance witch." We have not spoken since, and during the memorial service his wife didn't like the food I catered. She decided to leave during the eulogy to go get Colombian food. This was a small gathering, mind you. Everyone noticed her leave during the speech. I still have not talked to either of them, and I basically don't see any of my family now. I almost forgot to mention, she has an 11-year-old daughter. For Christmas, I asked what I should get her. Karen said cash, just only cash. I told her I am on a budget, and if there was anything else like maybe a gift card, I had a $25 Amazon gift card from someone as a gift for myself. Karen told me it's okay, she just wants cash. I brought a card with cash, but her daughter didn't want to come out of her room to greet anyone. I told Karen I would like to give her the gift, but Karen said it's okay, just leave it in the tree. She doesn't want to be bothered. Needless to say, I took the card with me when I left. I have not talked to them since, and they have missed every birthday for their nieces and nephew. Like, seriously. That is not how holidays work, at least not in normal families. Am I the idiot? Edit. I need to clarify. Firstly, my brother was given an ultimatum: lose weight, fix your teeth, dress nicer, or I leave you. Secondly, I did not try to dictate my brother's wedding. We were all having a discussion about food, and my brother trying to keep to his budget. My brother wanted something simple, but she and her family just mocked and laughed and made me feel ashamed for having a cheap wedding for myself. When she called to tell me my mother died, she called from my brother's phone and didn't allow him to tell me. She wanted to tell me. The way she told me was like if you were ordering a pizza. No care, no sympathy, nothing. I did not want her to help plan the memorial. I needed my brother. She wouldn't allow him as she said she was very busy and she needed my brother. She was remodeling her kitchen. Sorry, but I don't think that should be top of the list after a parent dies. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Wait for the call when she's gone. He's broke and needs family to bail his butt out, 'cause that's what family does. Leave them blocked. Comment 2. Block and give them nothing. Your brother will work himself to death for her. Let them sink all on their own. Now, for the update. Hey everyone, I know it's been a while since I last shared what's been going on with my brother and his wife, Karen. I just wanted to give you all an update on the situation. After my last post, things got pretty tense. I was feeling really isolated from my family, especially my brother John. I missed him a lot, but Karen was still keeping him on a tight leash. It was tough, not gonna lie. I spent a lot of time reflecting on everything that had happened, and I realized that I couldn't let this situation keep me down. I had to do something about it. So I decided to reach out to John. I sent him a text, just asking how he was doing. I didn't bring up Karen or any of the drama. To my surprise, he responded. We started talking a little here and there, just small talk at first. It was awkward, but it was a start. One day, out of the blue, John called me. Karen wasn't home, and he needed to talk. He sounded so defeated, it broke my heart. He confessed that he was struggling with everything: the debt, working 2 jobs, and feeling like he had lost himself. He admitted that he missed our family and that he felt trapped in his marriage. I listened, offered support, and suggested that maybe he should consider talking to a professional about everything. He agreed. Over the next few weeks, John started seeing a therapist. It was a huge step for him, and I could tell it was making a difference. He began standing up for himself more, setting boundaries with Karen. It wasn't easy, and there were a lot of arguments, but he was finally taking control of his life again. Meanwhile, Karen's daughter, who had always been pretty distant, started to open up to me. I guess she was feeling the tension at home too. I made an effort to include her in some family activities, just the 2 of us. We went to the movies, had ice cream, and I even helped her with her homework. It was nice to connect with her, and I think it helped her feel a bit more normal amidst all the chaos at home. Then, something unexpected happened. Karen actually reached out to me. She was having a hard time with the changes John was making, and she didn't know how to handle it. We had a long, honest conversation. I told her how her actions had affected our family and how important it was for John to have his own identity and relationships with us. Surprisingly, she listened. I think she realized that if she didn't loosen her grip, she might lose John for good. Things started to change after that. Karen began to make an effort with our family. She started attending family dinners without making a fuss about the food, and she even joined in on some of our traditions. It was weird at first, but it was a good kind of weird. John's transformation was the most remarkable. He looked healthier, happier, and more like the brother I remembered. He eventually found a better job that he loved, which meant he could quit the second job and have more time for himself and for us. He and Karen started working on their issues together, and while it wasn't perfect, it was progress. The best part? Our family started to feel whole again. We had our first big family gathering since everything went down, and it was actually fun. Karen and her daughter were there, and there was no drama. We laughed, shared stories, and it felt like old times. As for me, I learned a lot about forgiveness and patience. It wasn't easy to let go of the hurt and anger, but I'm glad I did. I got my brother back, and I gained a better relationship with my niece and, surprisingly, with Karen. So, that's where we are now. It's not perfect, but it's a happy ending I wasn't sure we'd get. Thanks for listening, everyone. It's been quite the journey, but I'm grateful for where we've ended up. Now, for the comments. Comment 1. Hey, it sounds like you've been through a rough patch with your brother's marriage to Karen, but I'm glad to hear things are looking up. It's not easy to forgive, especially when someone's actions have caused so much strain. Kudos to you for being open to mending fences and helping your niece. Comment 2. I'm curious, how did you manage to break the ice with Karen after everything that happened? It's great to hear she's making an effort now. Just remember, it's okay to set your own boundaries too. It's all about finding that balance and ensuring your own well-being while rebuilding the family dynamic. Now, for the next story. First, I want to start by saying that this is going to be a long one because there are a lot of factors. I am a female, 27, and have been in a relationship with my boyfriend, 32, for 10 years. We have 2 beautiful kids together, but he is starting to question one of them. So let me bring you guys back in time. In the end of the year of 2019, we had our first child together, a female, 4, and we lived together when finding out I was pregnant. From when she was born until now, everyone comments on how she looks exactly like her father, family, friends, strangers, etc. Keep that in the back of your mind for later. So after that, we know the 2020 pandemic happened where everyone was losing their jobs, including us. It put a little strain on our relationship at first. We had to find a way to make ends meet. We decided to do Grubhub as a means to make money. That was working really well because he was bringing in almost $2,000 a week while I stayed home with our daughter. Sometimes he would ask, or I would go with our daughter to do Grubhub with him. Then, in ID 2020, male, his mother passed away due to infection 19. At this point, it felt like he had a lot of stress on him, plus he was doing Grubhub a lot on his own, which confirmed that he was stressed to me because he's usually a lazy person. After a while, he didn't want us to ride around with him because of the long driving period and not wanting his family to catch infection 19. I understood at that time and just focused on raising our daughter at home. But there was always something deep inside telling me there was more to this. Fast forward to the end of 2021, beginning of 2022, I found out that he became a serial cheater throughout the whole pandemic. I was heartbroken, but I still wanted my family, so I forgave him and became an understanding girlfriend. But I didn't give in so easily. We were living in the same apartment, but we weren't speaking at first. We both were doing our own things. I was still faithful and a stay-at-home mom, but I stopped asking for help from him and was getting help from my parents and sisters, which he didn't know where I was getting help from. I threw my daughter birthday parties without asking him for anything, bought new clothes, shoes, etc., basically being a single mom without his help at all, and he always questioned where I got these things from. Towards the middle of 2022, we started working on our relationship again. We weren't on the best terms, but I got pregnant again. So now we have our second child, a male, 9 months, and he doesn't really look like either of us. He has golden brown hair and his nose is straighter than all of ours. But in a way, he looks exactly like his sister. I feel like he takes a lot from my side because he looks like a black ginger, which I have a lot of in my family. My boyfriend has started going around to literally everyone asking if he looks like him. Everyone says no, but they mention how he looks like his sister. That isn't enough for him. He has deleted pictures of our son, but kept the ones of our daughter in his phone. Plus, he makes these jokes about how I cheated and had a baby on him while he looks at both of them in the mirror. I keep telling him, let's get a DNA test done, and he says he doesn't need to do that because he knows that it's his son. But I think he knows that when that DNA test gets done, he has to leave my apartment. So am I the jerk for wanting to leave him? Eat it. I want to clear up a few things. First, I did get tested and continue to get tested. Second, we both have full-time jobs now, which alternate with who watches the kids. This brings me to my third point that he has always provided, and he really is a good dad to both kids, very caring to both of them. We work well together, we don't argue or have discussions about our relationship in front of the kids, and he never really outright accused me of cheating, he just makes jokes. and I honestly don't make enough to do it on my own. He's a great help and has never complained about paying the bills. The last thing is, I didn't know I was pregnant with my son until I was 5 months, otherwise I would have aborted him, to be honest. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot, but you still being with this asshat isn't exactly great either. Dump his sorry butt and move on. Comment 2. Not the idiot, and your boyfriend is projecting because he was a cheating piece of shoot, from a former cheating piece of shoot. Now, for the update. The past 3 days have been a whirlwind of emotions, and I feel like I'm stuck in a bad soap opera. After my last post, things took a turn for the worse. My boyfriend's behavior became increasingly erratic. He would look at our son, then at me, with this piercing gaze that made me feel like I was under constant suspicion. It was like he was trying to find some clue, some giveaway that our son wasn't his. I tried to keep things normal for the kids, but the tension was thick. Our daughter, bless her heart, seemed to pick up on it. She started asking why Daddy was acting funny, why he wasn't smiling as much. It broke my heart to see her so confused. I reassured her that everything was okay, but I could tell she wasn't convinced. On the second day, my boyfriend and I had a huge fight. It started over something small, but it quickly escalated. He accused me of being unfaithful again, his voice filled with anger and hurt. I shot back, reminding him of his own infidelity and how I had forgiven him. The argument went in circles, and our son started crying from all the shouting. We both stopped and realized what we were doing in front of our kids. We agreed to talk after they went to bed, but that talk never happened. Instead, we spent the night in silence, each lost in our own thoughts. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, wondering how we got to this point. I thought about the DNA test and how it could solve everything, but then I feared what it might do to us. What if it confirmed his doubts? What if it didn't? Would we ever be able to move past this? The next day, I decided to take action. I scheduled a DNA test without telling him. I figured it was the only way to put an end to this madness. But when I told him about the appointment, he blew up. He said he didn't need a test to tell him what he already knew. He claimed he was just stressed and that his jokes had gone too far. But I could see the relief in his eyes, the fear of the unknown dissipating. We went to the clinic, and the process was quick, but the wait for the results was agonizing. We tried to act normal, but there was an unspoken anxiety hanging over us. We both threw ourselves into work and taking care of the kids, trying to keep our minds off the impending results. Today, the results came in. I opened the envelope with shaking hands, my boyfriend standing beside me. The paper confirmed that he was indeed the father of our son. I felt a wave of relief wash over me, but when I looked at him, his expression was unreadable. He took the paper from my hands, scanned it, and then something unexpected happened. He started to cry. He apologized for ever doubting me, for letting his insecurities get the best of him. He hugged me, and for a moment, I thought maybe this was the turning point for us. But then he pulled away and said he needed time to think, to process everything. He packed a bag and left, saying he'd be back but didn't know when. So here I am, with 2 kids, a confirmed paternity test, and a boyfriend who's just walked out the door. I don't know what the future holds for us. I don't know if he'll come back ready to mend things, or if this is the beginning of the end. It's an unsatisfying resolution to an already complicated situation. I'm left with more questions than answers, and all I can do is wait and hope that somehow we'll find our way back to each other. Now, for the comments. Comment 1. Hey there, I can't imagine how tough this must be for you. Have you considered couples therapy? It might help address the trust issues and communication breakdown. Remember, it's important to think about what's best for you and the kids in the long run. Comment 2. I went through something similar when my ex doubted our son's paternity. It's a gut-wrenching feeling, and no matter the DNA test results, the trust was already shaken. Take care of yourself and your little ones, that's what truly matters. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day!